Hey guys, it's Kesara, and today I'm going to be doing my January reading vlog part 1. So it is Monday, January 3rd. I'm currently in the middle of like a lot of books. There are 5 that I would say actually reading, and then there's a bunch of other ones that I started like a while ago and just like kind of gave up on, but I kind of also want to get back to them. So I might pick up like any of those books this week, but the one that I'm like most actively reading right now and like really getting into, and like it's the one that I'm defaulting to right now, is Jade Legacy by Fonda. So this is the 3rd book in the Greenbone saga, which is like one of my new favorite fantasy trilogies. I absolutely love this so far. I'm almost done with it actually. I have like about 6 hours left in the audiobook, so it's like a 24-hour audiobook or something like that. I'm really close to the end and I'm really excited for it. I should be finishing that this week, and I'm planning on picking up another book. I can't decide between The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart or The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie. So when I finish Jade Legacy, I'll probably read one of those. So this is going to be a pretty action-packed week because these are like books that I really want to get to. And then the one that I don't read this week, I'll read next week instead. Those are the ones that I plan to get to this week. Hopefully I can get to all 3 of them. In the past, like 3 books a week has been no problem at all, but I also kind of want to savor these a little bit, so I might stretch them out just a little bit. But so far, really loving Jade Legacy. It's a 3rd book in a series. I don't want to get into like spoilers and stuff, but there's just so much action and so much political maneuvering. And one thing I like about this one in particular compared to some of the other ones, and I don't know if I actually like this or if I'm annoyed by it, but it's the timeline. Because in the first 2 novels, not very much time has passed. The first novel, it's like maybe a year, like not a whole lot of time at all. And in the second novel, I feel like it's like a 4 or 5 year period that passes. But in this 3rd novel, it's like decades. One of the characters is like a child at the beginning, and he's like almost 30 by like this point in the novel, which like I said, I still have 6 hours left in the audiobook. So I'm still like only 3/4 of the way done with this novel. And it's really interesting to see how that time passes, but it's incredibly political on a macro scale that I really am enjoying right now. And of course it's in this like really cool, it's technically an urban fantasy world, but it has a really high fantasy feel to it because it has like countries and stuff that don't exist and cultures that don't exist, but are done in a way that you like really feel that they're real cultures. So yeah, I'm enjoying this so much, and I can't wait to see how it ends because this author honestly exceeded my expectations for every single book in this series. So I'm sure that the last book in this series is going to be great. And also I've skimmed through like some reviews and stuff on Goodreads, and everyone seems to have really great things to say about it. I didn't actually read any of the reviews, mostly just looking at ratings, but like of people that I trust, and it sounds like people really like this one, so I'm really excited to see what happens. So it is Tuesday, January 4th, and I just finished Jade Legacy by Fonda. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed this so much. I absolutely love the ending. The ending is epic in a way that I wasn't expecting, but like really enjoyed. It's kind of what I expected from this book in the 1st book, but after the 2nd and most of the 3rd book, I kind of wasn't expecting it, but then it happened and I was just like, this is great. I enjoyed this. I like the direction that it's going, so I enjoyed every second of this book. Highly recommend this series as a whole. I'll definitely be doing a review, which I'll post next week at some point, but I gave this one 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up another book right away just because I'm kind of like still basking in the glow that was Jade Legacy, but I still think I probably will, especially an audiobook at least. Really enjoyed this. Definitely one of my new favorite series of all time, so loved every second of it. And I probably have more than one video that I want to do on this book and this series in general just because it's so great. If you haven't picked up the series yet, you definitely should because it is fantastic. Alright, I haven't used these headphones before. I just got them last month and I haven't used them for a microphone before, so we'll see how this goes. But I totally forgot to mention that last night I did pick up the e-arc that I got from NetGalley of Where the Drowned Girls Go by Seanan McGuire. So this is the latest book in the Wayward Children series. So far I'm enjoying it. I didn't like the e-arc that much, I didn't like the ebook that much, so I will probably be switching to the audiobook once I get access to it. But for this walk, I decided excited to start the Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. I just don't think I'm quite ready for the Wisdom of Crowds yet. So I started the Bone Shard Emperor and I'm enjoying it so far. So I'm really excited to see where this book is going. So it's Thursday, January 6th, and I'm about halfway done with the Bone Shard Emperor now. I'm really enjoying this. I'm not gonna say this is like a new favorite series of mine or anything like that, but it just fits in the type of series that I really like. I like the world building in this series. It has a really interesting type of magic, and I'm liking the characters a lot. I also think part of the reason I'm liking this so much is because of the audiobook narrators. All three audiobook narrators are ones that I recognize and also really like. So I think that's really helping me out. I'm excited to see where it's going though, because I can kind of see things coming to a head, and I'm really excited to see what happens with that. I like all three of the main characters, and I can't wait to see when they start colliding a little bit more than they are right now. Really enjoying this. Really great Asian inspired fantasy, and I can't wait to see how it ends. Okay, so it is Saturday, January 8th. I just finished the Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. I really enjoyed this a lot more than I was expecting. A lot of people seem to enjoy this one more than the previous one, and I think in most of this novel I enjoyed it a lot more than the previous one. I actually got into this one a lot more. I do really love the audiobook narrators, so maybe that's why also, but I enjoyed the plot of this one. I enjoyed the action. The ending, I wasn't fully expecting. I was a little bit expecting it just because I'd seen some people's like spoiler-free reviews of it that mentioned like there was action at the end. From reading the book itself, I wasn't really expecting that, and like just from the series in general, I wasn't really expecting the ending. Really enjoyed all the action at the end. There's one thing I really hated about this novel and just frustrated me to no end, and that was the romance. Oh my gosh, I absolutely hated the romance. I mean, I didn't feel the romance. I hated the way the romance was done. I didn't like the two characters together. Like, I didn't like anything about this romance. So because of that, I can't give this as high of a rating as I want it to be. I still think I'm being a little bit generous, giving it a 4.25 stars, but I couldn't give it less than The Bone Shard Daughter, which is the first book in the series, which I also gave 4.25 stars because I did like it more than that, but I just hated the romance so much. So that annoys me, but I'm really excited to see where the series is gonna go because I really enjoyed this second novel in the series. So I cannot wait to read the third one, which I think is coming out later this year, which should be great. I absolutely love the world building, by the way. The world building in this book is fantastic. I mean, it's not like super in-depth, but it's creative, and I really like that. Definitely really enjoyed this. Not one of my new favorite series of all time or anything, but still a really entertaining read that I would recommend to most fantasy readers. So it is Sunday, January 9th, and I did manage to finish Where the Drowned Girls Are by Seanan McGuire. I actually enjoyed this a lot more than I was expecting to. This is the 7th book in the Wayward Children series, which is a series of novellas following like these children that get sent to other worlds. So it's one of my favorite tropes, being that it's multiple worlds, but it's a series of novellas, which I kind of hate novellas. So some of these I really like because I really like the world that they're in, and I like the logic of the world, and I like the world building. And then other ones I don't really care for that much. So for example, In an Absent Dream, I absolutely loved, which was the 4th book, but Across the Green Grass Fields, which was the 6th book, which is the most recent one before Where the Drowned Girls Go, I really didn't care for it all. But I actually really like this one. I would say it's like my 3rd or 4th favorite, so not the best of the series, but I liked the world in this one. It was set in kind of our world, so there are multiple different worlds and then there's our world, but instead of the regular Wayward Children's school, it was set in a different school, which I found incredibly fascinating. I really love the world building in this one, but that's honestly pretty much the only thing I enjoyed about it. I enjoyed it a lot though, so I ended up giving it 4.25 stars. In the beginning, actually, it was giving me kind of Harry Potter vibes, but then it takes like a weird turn where the school is concerned. So like that was like for a very short amount of time, but I still really like the world building and all of that aspect of it. So I still really like this one a lot more than I was expecting to. So that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I post videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so consider subscribing. And if you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.